What's good, my lovely peoples? It's your main man, Solace, the humble wise one. Now, today I want to do this video breaking down the divine ancient knowledge of the serpent. Now, this is a deep video. And this is like that time before time knowledge. See, you notice in all ancient carvings, they always had a snake or a reptile as an image somewhere in their carvings or writings in ancient times. And this was that divine knowledge of the serpent. So I'm going to try to explain this to y'all because it's a very deep thing. Now, before I go into the video, I want everyone to try and watch my videos alone, in low light or in darkness with no distractions. This way you can truly suck in everything that I'm saying. Now, you can watch it with others, but do yourself a pleasure and watch it alone first. Now, I want to go on ahead and try to break down this divine ancient knowledge of the serpent, because it's a deep thing that men today, for some reason, they don't grasp. Now, before I go into the video, I want to give you a reference point, so to say, so you won't get lost and confuse yourself, because I'm about to drop some heavy jewels on y'all. And you can easily confuse yourself. So I want to give you a reference point. Now, grasp this reference point and keep it with you when I break down the serpent knowledge. Now, here's the reference. You have an exit and you have an entrance. They are the same thing, but we view them as opposite or different from one another. So an exit and an entrance, they have different definitions. If you look them up, they have different definitions. They're opposites. Yet, we all know that an exit is an entrance and an entrance is an exit. It doesn't matter what the case is. Now, a man can tell you, no, you can't go this way. This is the exit. Or no, this is the entrance. You have to go through the exit. But you know you can use the entrance as an exit. If you came through the door, you can leave through the door. So you have to grasp. An exit and an entrance is one and the same, but for some reason, men have them opposite. Now, it all lies on the state of being that you're in, meaning, if you're in the inside of a place, then the entrance would be the exit to you. If you're on the outside of a place, then the exit would be the entrance for you. So it's a matter of your aspect. If you're inside, then it's an exit. If you're outside, it's an entrance. But they're the same. Now, why aren't they called the same thing then? Why do we have two definitions, two different words? We have them as opposites, yet we all know within self they're the same thing. So why do we have two different names for the same thing? And the answer is, that doesn't matter. What truly matters is, why do you let things like this confuse you? See, men will do anything to confuse themselves, and they'll spread that confusion on. But you have to know simple things. So this is the reference, exit and entrance. They're one and the same, yet we have them as complete opposites, two different things, etc., etc. Yet we know they're the same. Now, here's the serpent knowledge. And keep the reference in mind, exit and entrance. Now here's the serpent knowledge. You have Satan and you have God. Now they are the same thing, but we view them as opposite and different, the same way we view exit and entrance. So you have God and Satan viewed as opposites. They're different, but they're actually the same. And it's a deep thing y'all have to grasp. But before I go into that, let me break this down to you. See, you have Satan. You have the Satan mind state, because it all boils down to a state of being. All beings are people. You have Satan and devil, just like exit and entrance. They're both the same place. Even though you view the same place, depending on your perspective, as an entrance or an exit, they're still both the exit or entrance to the same place, meaning you're either leaving the place or going, but it's the same place. Yet that place has two different names. And it's the same with Satan and God. All people are both. It's just a matter of your state of conscious and how you will live. Now, I want y'all to grasp this because it's a deep thing. You have your Satan state of mind. This is someone who is low in conscious, but they view themselves as high or above others. Then you have the God state of conscious. The conscious is high, but they view themselves as low or equal to everything in the life. So Satan views himself as above, the Most High. The God state would view itself as low or equal to all in the life. Now, I use the word God because this is how y'all view it, as opposites. But truly, God and Satan is the same, just like exit and entrance. So it would truly be God and Satan mind state, which is one and the same. And then you would have the divine mind state, when a person reaches divinity and they understand that God and Satan is one and the same, and then you have divinity in true understanding. So you have to grasp the definition of Satan is truly the same as God, meaning Satan was full of himself and viewed himself as he should be higher than the Most High. What is God? The Most High. He who should be worshipped and is above all things. So you notice how God has the same qualities as Satan. Grasp. See, raising yourself above others in status and things like this, this is all lost in the Satan, the lower self. But the lower self views itself as higher. I'm above others. And the true divine mind understands, being in its higher conscious, that whether you say God or Satan, it is both one and the same. The divine one views itself as high in conscious, but lower or equal to all living things in the life. Because that's how the life moves. And when you move out of that order and you begin to have highers and lowers, then you're dealing with God and Satan. And this is when you're lost in conscious. So you have to understand, God and Satan is never separate. They're always together, just like exit and entrance, because it's the same. But until you reach a certain level of divinity in your consciousness, you will view the same things as opposite and be stuck in that balance and not being to pass beyond that and understand that nothing's above or higher than anything. And anything that speaks in that manner is lost. So you have to grasp, it doesn't matter the religion. It doesn't matter the God, whether it's from old ancient history or whatever. Once you hear the word God, this is status. This is the Satan above others, being higher. And there is none of that. Once men or beings live in that manner, then the life becomes what it becomes. So you have to grasp, it's a deep thing. Whether you view Satan as evil and bad, and you view God as good and perfect, you know it's not true. Because God has all the qualities that Satan has. Satan is always with God. See, grasp that. Even in the Bible, Satan is always battling with God is always battling with his Satan. Grasp that. It says all the sons of God came before him. And Satan came too. And he asked Satan, man, where are you coming from? And Satan said, from earth and here, from here and forth through earth. Why is Satan always with him? So you have to grasp. Even with Job, Satan and God was having a discussion on Job, or Job, whichever one y'all want to go with. They was having a discussion on him and if Job really truly believed and had faith and worshiped God. So God was battling with his Satan. When you read the Job story, this is what you're reading. God battling with his own Satan. And you have to grasp, in ancient times, God meant the same thing as king or ruler. It was a status thing. So you have to grasp. God, Satan, it's all the same thing. Then you have divinity in higher conscious, in true understanding. See, the sperm is the spirit, is ancient serpent knowledge. The sperm is the spirit, the body is the egg. In the battle between the two, the physical desires that the body pulls for, and staying pure in spirit like you started off. See, a baby is born pure and innocent. No negativity within it, no hate within it, no addictions, no desires. Just pure life. But that body will be getting a way down on that spirit the longer it's in the physical. So you have to grasp, it's a deep thing. In ancient times, the serpent was always the sperm cell, because everybody you see is a sperm cell within an egg. This is how you get a baby. Sperm cell goes within an egg. And this is the divine knowledge of all. Because when the baby was born, the body is the egg, and the sperm is the spirit still within the body. And the body is pulling for the physical, worldly things. And the spirit will go with it if you don't know what you truly are. So it's a deep thing y'all have to grasp. Y'all have this God and Satan. Basically, religion took truth and did that with it. But you see the ancient knowledge all within it, but it's used for however it wants to be used. But it's a deep thing y'all have to grasp. God and Satan is exactly the same thing. Just like exit and entrance. It's like crisscross knowledge. See, you view them as different, but one is the other and the other is the other. So God has all the descriptions of Satan, meaning what Satan was cast away for, God has all those descriptions. He views himself as the Most High, all things should worship him, and it's a jealous God, and so on and so forth. So he has all the qualities that are bad, but it's God, so it has to be good. And then Satan, he used to be like God and viewed himself in that same way, and then he was cast away, and now he views himself as low. So Satan is the opposite of God, meaning Satan is not the Most High. He's low life. He's a deceiver, but they're both the same, just on the opposite ends of the journey. See, you become God, and you view yourself as high and above others, and no one's better than you, and people are lower than you. And then you'll eventually be knocked away by someone else who's greater and better than you, and they believe this more than you believe that, and next thing you know, you're low and knocked off. Anyone who goes into that God state and begin to believe themselves better and higher than others will be knocked off that pedestal. We know this. And this is basically God and Satan. The same thing, just beginnings and ends. And then you have divinity. When you're truly in your higher conscious and you understand nothing's above nothing and everything is all within the life and equal and serves its purpose. And the more you can begin to grasp and understand that, the better you can begin to understand what y'all yearn for in a God, that truth and understanding and power and thing that needs to be worshipped. The more you understand the things that I just said, the more you will see and grasp that. So a lot of people think, oh my God, he don't believe in nothing. I believe in a thing y'all can't grasp because y'all have too many things weighing y'all down. So you have to understand a thing before you can understand another thing. So y'all need to shed yourselves of a certain baggage and things that y'all have in confusion. It's like the exit and entrance syndrome. Y'all have to rid yourselves of all this confusion y'all have. Then y'all can grasp. Once y'all can be grasped, all things is equal within the life and everything. Nothing should never get that far off course, where it looks for rulers and starts to think that this thing is better than this thing, and a rat is a fucking piece of shit, and a deer is beautiful. And once you get to that point, you're in judgmental mode and you're just lost and gone. So it's like a person will be in. Now, I'm only using the word God because I'm about to break down the Satan state of mind and the God state of mind. But I'm only using God because, this is how y'all view it. But don't get lost. They're the same. But I'm just using God in replace of divinity because it's truly the God/Satan mind state and then the divinity mind state. So you have the Satan mind state. And it's a deep thing because it's tricky, being as though God and Satan is the same thing. But a person will be in their lower conscious, in their lower state, their Satan state. But they'll view themselves as smart and higher and conscious, and everything boils down to status, and they see themselves as better than some and beneath others. And this is that whole Satan state of conscious. When you're knocked out of whack with the all and seeing all things as equal in one within the life. You start to see things as this is beneath this and that. And this is how we live. You have people walking in their state, Satan state, and they really truly don't know the difference between the two. So a person to say, I'm in my God state. I eat healthy. I do good. I give to the poor. This is all Satan lower consciousness state of being. Because you have to grasp, there are supposed to be no poor. A higher consciousness person is not even supposed to go with that type of thoughts, knowing that everything in life is produced for the living. And if someone in their Satan state decides to take hold of the life and make other things lower than it, and they decide to go with it, this is still all wrong, and this is not how the life goes. So the moment a person says, I give to the poor, and they acknowledge what's a lie and what's a falsehood to men, because a lot of men don't know this. They truly believe they're supposed to work to live. They don't understand that the life produces everything that you may need. But you're acknowledging a falsehood as if it's a good thing that you're doing. I give to the poor. Now I'm not saying don't give to the poor, but I'm saying there's nothing to be said when balancing out an injustice. The poor ain't supposed to be poor. So when you give unto the poor and you're rich, you're doing nothing. You're supposed to not be rich. If you're rich, then that means a bunch of motherfuckers ain't getting their share that the life produces. So you have to grasp. And the person saying, I eat healthy, it is putting one thing in the life before another thing, as opposed to just looking at it as only eat what I may need for the day. Because all food we eat is life. Life sustains life. So, but we lost. We think this thing is better than that thing, and that thing is lower. So once you get into that whole mind state, you're in your God state, which is truly the Satan state, because they're one and the same, just like exit and entrance. And it's a deep thing. And this is the beginnings of understanding the divine ancient knowledge of the serpent, which is truly the same thing as me saying the sperm is the spirit. Sperm is the spirit knowledge, is the same as the serpent knowledge. It's rising up in conscious, but you have to understand the beginnings. You have to understand what you are. A sperm cell within an egg. That is conception. That is the beginnings of this existence that you're in. This is the flame trapped in the darkness. That's how Thoth put it. The flame in the darkness is the sperm cell, which is you in the egg. And how I put it, spirits in their space. And the space is dark. Just like when you look up above. All the stars is in their space of darkness. Everything is spirits in its space. And space is always darkness. If I cut off the lights, the space between here and the camera is darkness. So you have to grasp. It's a simple but deep thing. Divine ancient serpent knowledge. I'll come back and take y'all a little deeper. But try to grasp